Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video, and today we're going to be doing some questions and answers. So where you guys have the opportunity to ask me questions, and I do the best I can to give you guys good answers. Now remember, there's no such thing as a stupid question. You guys can ask me anything, except for who's the greatest captain on Star Trek. I think we all know that the best captain is Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Okay? So let's move forward with the questions. I had you guys ask me questions on either my video for my Andrew Cutter Picks of the Week or my previous video, which is basically ask me the questions. And boy, did I get a turnout. Over 50 comments total. So we got a lot to go through today, and I'm going to probably go in reverse order. I'm going to start with probably what's considered the most recent comment, and we'll go from there. Shall we? We shall. First and foremost, and I will do the best I can to get every single question. If I miss your question for any reason, just let me know, okay? Because I want everyone's question to be answered. Uh, what was that? Just adjusting my sleeve. Um, Would you ever review Arkham: A Serious House on Serious Earth by Grant Morrison? If I had the comic, I would, but I don't, and I don't foresee myself buying it anytime soon. Um, so, yeah. Hey, Andrew, I have two questions. Could you please explain to me what Earth 2 is? I started comics with the New 52, and I had never heard of it before. And secondly, do you know of some good Batman arcs with Dick as Batman? To answer your first question, Earth 2 is a parallel Earth to the main DC universe. So we have the main DC universe, which has Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Justice League. And then Earth 2 is going to be a parallel universe, which is going to consist of the Justice Society. Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman will still be there, but things will be different. For example, Batman has a daughter instead of a son. Lois Lane is dead. Wonder Woman's the last Amazon. The Green Lantern is not Hal Jordan, but Alan Scott, and the Flash is not Barry Allen, but Jay Garrick. So it's really just a parallel Earth where all the Justice Society members and various different Golden Age characters will be housed. As for Batman stories with Dick in it, let me just look over here. The Black Mirror is definitely one you want to get. The Streets of Gotham comics you want to get. Long Shadows, Life After Death, Hush Money. Those are comics that you want to get. But Black Mirror is probably considered by most the best. What are your thoughts on the whole Joker's face being removed thing? Do you think is something else will happen with this? If so, what? There has been mention of a couple comics in the New 52 that he has retired. It's been really getting to me since Detective #1, and I want to know what will happen. Don't worry, the Joker's not going anywhere. They're probably not going to use the Joker for a bit because he's been oversaturating the comic book market for the past, I want to say, 6 years. Grant Morrison used him heavily, and he's been heavily used throughout all the Batman universe comics. The removing of the face is just an excuse to get Joker out of the limelight for a bit, so other villains can kind of shine. Uh, do I know what they're gonna do? No. I think the removing of the face is an interesting idea, and anything can happen. I mean, for all you know, Joker could be masquerading as someone else, although his hair is green, so it's kind of hard to do that. But um, anything can happen. But I wouldn't worry. Joker will be back. It's Joker. He's probably pound for pound the greatest villain in comic books. People are gonna want to see him. Uh, are you considering doing a top 10 Batman animated series episodes? I already did. Check it on my page. What Batman Superman villains do you think are underrated and would you like to see more of? Um, for Batman, that's tough. You know, it depends on your definition of villain. I guess if I had to pick, I would like to see more Riddler. And I would like to see more Mad Hatter. Now, I'm not one of those people that are obsessed with Mad Hatter, but I think he still should get more of. I think you could do a lot of creepy things with him. As for Superman, Metallo, and Bizarro. I think those two need to get a little bit more mention. Although Metallo has been having a lot of comics lately, I still would like to see more of him. Uh, if Batman was to cross over with any non-DC character, who would it be? Mine would be the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Although I really don't watch this show too much, I think an interesting crossover would be Batman with Doctor Who. I'm not a Doctor Who fan, I've only watched a few episodes, but Doctor Who seems very interesting, has a very sci-fi approach to things, and I think the two logical personalities that come from Batman and Doctor Who will clash in an interesting way. Next question. On my channel, I talked about MMA. This is from Ben, by the way. MMA. Have you ever watched MMA, and what are your opinions on it? Also, have you ever had to use your karate in a street fight, and if so, who came out of the better of the other guy? You or the other guy? First and foremost, MMA, mixed martial arts, is, I think, very entertaining. Do I watch it? No. Do I consider it fighting? No. I consider it more of a sport like boxing. There's rules, there's regulations, there's tons of rules. There's actually, I think, more rules from MMA than there is for boxing. And it's kind of funny because most of the stuff I would do in a real fight, I would never be able to do in MMA. First thing I would do is bam, go for the knee, knock out the knee, or bam, go for the groin, or gouge out the eyes or something. But yeah, it's a good sport to watch, and that's what it is. For me, it's a sport. No disrespect to anyone that does MMA or likes MMA. I know a lot of people that do. I have friends that do, but they agree with me too. Most MMA people will agree with you. So it's enjoyable to watch, but I really don't watch it too much. I'm not in the big MMA fandom. Have I ever had to use my karate in a real fight? Yes, I have. Um, with the exception of one school fight, but I think I was a purple belt back then, I have always successfully defended myself in a fight. Some pretty hairy situations too. I've had some friends that like to get in trouble, and I have to be the person to stand there and deal with it. So I hope that answered your question. One, if you did become Batman, what would you be the first thing you would do? If I'm Batman, I'm going to be saving lives, baby. I'm going to go out there and protect the innocent. Two, in the new DCU, how do you think Superman and Superboy's first meeting will go? Not particularly well. Especially, DC kind of wants to have that disconnect between Superboy and Superman in some which way. And it's, to be honest, I can kind of see that logically happen. If you find out that you have been cloned, how do you think you would feel? I think it would be similar to how it was done in Young Justice, where they're going to be very wary of each other and Superman's going to keep his distance. Three, do you think Silver Banshee will play a big part in Supergirl? If so, how? Uh, Big part, I don't know if I would say big. I think she might be more regular than Silver Banshee has been beforehand. I feel as though Silver Banshee is going to be not so much of a bad guy. I think she might be a little bit more neutral or may lean more towards chaotic good. So we'll see what goes on with Silver Banshee. But I don't think she'll be a huge role in Supergirl. Maybe just someone that helps her out from time to time. All for all we know, she can be consumed by darkness and become evil. But I like the fact that Silver Banshee's kind of a good guy now. Four, could a good story be told about Batman joining Lantern Corps? Be told for a period of time? No. I mean, anything can be told well, but I think the concept of Batman joining the Green Lantern Corps is just way too far fetched. Uh, if they found a way to make Hush stories in Con, how could they do, or what would you do? I don't understand in Con. Do you mean continuity? Find a way to make the Hush stories in continuity. How would they do it, or what would you do? I think that's what you're asking. If that's the case, for all we know, the Hush stories are still in continuity, despite the hiccups that they've done with Catwoman's memory. So I don't think there's anything that they would need to do. What I would do, I would give Catwoman's memory back. I would deal with. I wouldn't have Batman's identity a secret, or I would have Catwoman set in the past because that's the only thing holding back the Hush stories. Uh, Next, have you been following the Young Justice cartoon series? Unfortunately, no. I watched up until when they all lost their memory in like some Middle Eastern country, and then I think it's called Drop Zone, the episode. And then I just haven't had time to. I just did watch the New Year's episode where they're all 5 years older. I'll probably pick it up on DVD because it looks like it to be a good show. If so, what do you think about it? Like I just said, it's a good show. It's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a very DCU show, which is good. And have you gotten any figures from it? No, I haven't been able to pick up many figures of anything lately. The next figure I'm going to get is probably the new DC 52 Batman. Also, why didn't DC keep the new Wonder Woman look? I thought it was cool, but apparently they went back to the classic look. What's your thought on that? I'm referring to the black jacket and the black pants look. It's plain, flat, and simple. The reason why they did the jacket and the pants are to test the waters. They were putting their feet in the water and to see how people felt. Although some people embraced the new costume, a lot of people did not like it. So they decided to go back to a more classic look, just upgrade it and modernize it. And to be honest, I love the new Wonder Woman costume. It's everything that the Wonder Woman costume needs to be. It fixes the problems with Wonder Woman's costume, mainly the fact that there's so many stars. There's only 2 stars, which is great. Okay. If you were to do a DC, if you were to do, okay, sorry, I read it wrong. What would you do if DC killed off Batman and signed a contract for him never to return into the comic book world? As long as the story was told good, I think I would be fine with it. That will never happen because Batman's too much of a money grabber. But as long as the story is told good, I don't mind a character being killed off. Would I want it to happen? No. But again, story matters. If it's Batman saving the world, sacrificing himself, proving how you don't need powers to be a man, to quote Superman from the animated series, the world never needed Superman, it only needed a brave one. Um, I think if it was done well, then that's what's important. Uh, I was just wondering on your thoughts on the direction of the Teen Titans team and your thoughts on how Tim Drake is being handled. I think out of all the new 52, Teen Titans is the one that, although it hasn't been bad, I've been most disappointed with. Oh, excuse me, I'm just waking up. I would take a few members off and I would put some members on. For example, nothing against some of the new characters that were made, but I think they should have stuck with some characters that were more recognizable. I have the base four, which is Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Superboy, and Tim Drake. And then I would have had Ms. Martian, Blue Beetle, and Static on the team. Mainly the reason why I would replace the new characters, and I like the new characters. I like Solus. I like Bunker. I don't really care for Skitter because I think her look looks too alien to what the comic is. I like those characters, but they don't have their own individual comic. Um, Blue Beetle does. Static does, or Static did. So I would have had them on the team, and then I would have had Ms. Martian because I think she's adorable and she's a little cute thing. So um, I think the comic isn't really going where I want it to go. It's not bad. It's just not what I wanted. And my thoughts on how Tim Drake is being handled. I think they're taking Tim Drake down a path of like kind of like how Batman went with this is an extreme, but how Batman kind of was in War Games. He's very analytical, very willing to go to the edge and do what needs to be done. So doesn't feel like Tim Drake to me. No, it feels like a Tim Drake that's been pushed to the limits. Maybe that's just me. Did you ever read Hellblazer? No, I have not. John Constantine is a good character. Sure he is. I've been reading him in Justice League Dark. What is your favorite of the new 52 so far? Batman. Plain, flat, and simple. Not because he's my favorite character, just because the story has been told so well. Do you think Green Lantern, the animated series, and the new Batman series are going to be part of the same universe, and we will see a future Justice League project in CGI? I don't think so. I think they're going to keep Green Lantern in his nice little separate place and Beware the Batman in his own little separate place. So, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see a Justice League CGI project. Plus, we get enough Justice League on Young Justice. Here's a big one. What plans do you think Bane has in the Dark Knight Rises? Um, this is a lot of questions for one person. I don't know what Bane's plans are. Maybe to destroy Gotham. I think Ra's al Ghul is going to be in it, so maybe he's working for Ra's al Ghul, and they're trying to go back to their original plan of destroying Gotham. Have you bought any trades from the new 52 reboot? None of them have come out, but I do plan on picking up some of them, which I wasn't originally going to do, but some of the comics have just wowed me so much I plan on picking up. Um, which trades are you planning to pick up? Batman is a definite. Wonder Woman is a definite. Swamp Thing is a possibility. Justice League is a possibility. And then Flash. Those are the five that I am probably leaning towards getting. Okay, top five trades, top five Two-Face trades, top Penguin trades. I think that's kind of a tough question to answer off the top of my hands. You have stuff like Long Halloween, The Man Who Laughs, A Killing Joke, Face to Face. Um, you have most of the detective run for Penguin. Penguin really has been utilized that much, but in detectives with Paul Dini and stuff, he has been utilized. The current stuff in the DCU has been utilizing a lot of Penguin actually, which is good. Um, that's kind of a tough question, but Face to Face, Long Halloween, Killing Joke, Man Who Laughs. Oh, what is it called? Strange Aberrations is a good Joker one. I mean, you can almost it could there's tons of them. So I don't know if I could make up a top five right now on the spot. Um, Even though you have not read Secret Six, do you think the creative team was good? Yeah, it was a popular comic. People loved it, so it had to be good. The creative team had to do a good job. Should we give it a try? We, as in you. People generally liked the Secret Six, and it was award winning. I don't see any reason not to try it, other than the fact that if you just don't have money like I do, I just haven't had the money to go pick it up. But you should get it in try. You should pick it up. Or what trades should we buy that are not common? For example, not any Justice, not any Justice League member or something like that. I don't quite understand the question. You mean buy a trade that's not common? Pick up Secret Six. Be safe. Or pick up the new 52 stuff. Be safe. Uh, my question is, my question is, would you like to see Justice League animated series, but for them to use the new 52 universe? Yeah, I think that would be fun. I know a lot of people would not like this because Hal is Green Lantern instead of John Stewart, Barry's instead of Wally, no Hawkgirl or Manhunter. I know people hate Aquaman and Cyborg. I don't think people hate Aquaman and Cyborg. Uh, People don't hate Aquaman and Cyborg. People don't know Aquaman and Cyborg. Because they don't read comics. Well, yeah, that could be the reason. But what will you think if they did that, and could it be more successful than the original? Success is a word that I don't know if I would use. Um, do I think they should do another show? Why not? Um, in the 52 style, yes, I think it would be good to use the new 52 characters because those are the characters being used. I think Cyborg and Aquaman are great characters. I think Hal is better than John and Barry is better than Wally. I mean, shoot me dead if you want to, because I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I think it would be good because the show can help promote the comic. Will I think it's more successful than the original? If it's done well, it could be. Anything could be better than anything else. I think it has big shoes to fill, though, because the Tim Burton Justice League Unlimited and Justice League show was incredibly popular. And that's something that built over a long period of time since 1992 with the Batman animated series. I'm not sure if they originally had Justice League in their mind, but you had the Batman show, then you had the Superman show, then the Batman Beyond show, and then Static, and it all kind of started to take form in the Justice League. Uh, would you like to see Rocksteady do a Superman game? Yes, I actually had a good idea for this. Wouldn't it be cool if they did a Superman game where the sun was blotted out and he was hit with uh, what is it, red sunlight beam, and he has his powers, but they're incredibly weak. So it actually makes it interesting for him to deal with, like, normal people. And then as you go throughout the game, you start to slowly get your powers back. Every boss fight, you get your powers back. I think that would be fun. Who would be your ideal cast for a Justice League movie? Being Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter, and Aquaman. That's a tough question, mostly because I don't know if you mean animated or if you mean live action. Uh, because there's a big difference. There's some people I would choose Kevin Conroy to always be Batman if it's animated, but I would not put him in as live action. So that's a tough question without actually having the full details. Because I don't think you say live action or animated. We can assume you mean live action, but I don't want to take that risk. So, clarify next time. And then I will try the best I can to give you the answer. Andrew, which Joker story is considered Batman and Joker's first meeting in the pre and post Flashpoint? Man Who Laughs, Dead to Rights, Lovers and Madmans, or something else? Actually, I think they're all considered. I think the most recent Lovers and Madman might be considered more than others. But to be safe, I would go with Man Who Laughs because that's the one I always thought was the best. And you should go with that. Andrew, where would you place JLA Tower Babel? Divided we fall in the pre-Flashpoint Batman timeline. Before, I would put it before No Man's Land because I think they do take. I think No Man's Land was mentioned in one of them, and it took place before No Man's Land. So No Man's Land beforehand. Also, are these series still canon and post Flashpoint? No, I don't think so. I think the way the Justice League is going to be, this is what I think. Nothing's set in stone. I think Barry never died. I think Flash may have died, but only for a short amount of time, or he was parallaxed for a brief amount of time and came back. And the Justice League has always been the Justice League it's been. There's been no other members. I think all the Justice League stuff has been rebooted. Sorry, guys. Um, Especially seeing a lot of those stories have Martian Manhunter on it, and he was never part of the team in this. They have never had any other Justice League members than themselves. My contact has been itchy. So no, they're not canon. Which comic books would you like to see as a movie? Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. There's more, and if you want to find out what they are, you can go to PM Knight's channel. I did chat with him, and we talked about comic books becoming movies. But number one would be Wonder Woman. Uh, have you read Walking Dead, or have you watched the Walking Dead TV show? No, and I kind of want to, but the comic is kind of too far in for me to jump on. A lot of people have said a lot of great things about it, but like I said, it's just too far in for me to really want to jump on. Would you get a would you get Monster Hunter Tri-G or Fire Emblem for the 3DS if they come to the US? Well, I think the Fire Emblem is going to consistently come to the US. Would I see? I'm something called a completionist. I have to get everything of everything if I was to get something. So if I was to get the new Fire Emblem, I would have to get all the previous Fire Emblems. And I know my friend wants me to do that. My friend CJ is obsessed with Fire Emblem. He loves it. But I don't think I'm gonna get that on Monster Hunter. I was tempted on getting Monster Hunter Tri for the Wii, and then I kind of went, I don't have time. Because right now on my Wii selection, I still have I'm playing Kirby's Epic Yarn. I beat Return to Dreamland. But I'm playing Kirby's Epic Yarn. For my birthday, I got Dead Space 2, so I'm playing that right now, even though that's not Wii. I have Trauma Center New Blood and Second Opinion, and then I also have Epic Mickey, which I have to play. So I have a lot. Epic Mickey, I think, is the big one I have to get over. I think that's going to be a longer game than others. Random card just drop by. Hey man, are you going to pick up the new Nightfall trades as they include all the issues involving all issues involving Night Quests? what weren't collected in the first trade. So, will I be picking up the new Nightfall trades? I didn't know that they were collecting Night Quest, so I'm unsure. I can't give you an answer. As of now, I'm gonna have to say no due to money reasons. If I had a little extra cash, maybe I might consider it. We'll see. But right now, I'm saying no. But I might change that with when it comes out because I kind of do want to read the Night Quest stuff. What do you think should happen with Hush in the New 52? I think he should show up. I think the Joker's face being removed should be played with Hush because Hush is a doctor. He did surgery on himself to look like Bruce Wayne, so I think that would be interesting. Top five Batman's villains. Bane's number one, Two Face number two, Ra's al Ghul number three, Hush number four, Joker number five. I know a lot of people would be like, Joker number five? Yeah, Joker's number five. What kind of music do you like, and who would be some of your favorite artists? Interesting question. I like all kinds of music. There's certain kind of music I don't like as much as others. Like I don't really care for country. I don't hate country. There's some good country out there. I just don't like country. I don't like punk or emo or ska or whatever it's called as much. But what do I like? If I had to, off the top of my head, I listen. My iPod is a mix mash of a lot of things. I'm not gonna lie. I will have Sephiroth's One Winged Angel to Metallica, Give Me Fuel, Give Me Fire, Give Me That Which I Desire, to Rob Zombie, to Linkin Park, to Britney Spears, to the new Call Me Maybe song, to Prince Ali from Disney. I have the most screwed up tastes when it comes down to music. And I have no problem picking up a song that's very poppy if it's good. With that said, I usually don't do that. But artist wise, Metallica and Linkin Park are my favorite bands. Johnny Cash and Rob Zombie are probably my favorite solo artists. But there's a lot of other stuff that I do, like Finger Eleven. Um, Godsmack isn't that bad, although a lot of their songs have kind of the same beat. Yeah. What else? What else? Um, I like a lot of songs from the 90s. Like I I love listening to Smash Mouth, Hey Now You're an All-Star, or One Week, the Chicken of China, the Chinese chicken song, or um, the impression that I get from the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. I like listening to a lot of late 90s, early 2000s songs, which is weird. I think it's just nostalgic for me because the 90s rocked. Uh, if you were a kid in the 90s or a teenager in the 90s, it was a good time. Uh, Harley Quinn, what do you think of her? I love Harley Quinn. I think she's a great character. I think she's been used all right in the New 52. I think the tweaked her origin. And the biggest problem I have with Harley Quinn is her new costume in the New 52. The biggest problem, I think it should look more like Arkham City and less like a whore. But hey, that's just me. Number one, new book of the New 52, besides Batman. That's how you ask a question. Eliminate Batman from the equation. Um, Kind of a tie between Swamp Thing and Wonder Woman. I have to say, um, Swamp Thing kind of surprised me more, but Wonder Woman I think I like just a little bit more. Probably because it's Wonder Woman, she's more geared towards my taste. What crossovers should Scott Snyder do? I would like to see Scott Snyder do a Swamp Thing Batman crossover, and he even mentioned that he was planning on doing something like that sometime if he gets a chance. What new 52 books would you add if one was eliminated? I did a video, my what I am thinking, and I got rid of 5 books and brought in 5 new ones. But the number one book I would remove is probably Dark Knight, and the number one book I would put in is Cyborg. Although I was thinking, what would be good is if instead of Red Lanterns, they went with a Star Sapphire book focused on Carol Ferris. Don't really have any female stars in the Green Lantern universe. Why not Star Sapphire? Um, Read the one below first. Oh, okay. Hey, Andrew, my question for you might be a little long, so bear with me. I'll try. Um, why do so many people hate Hal Jordan? A lot of people tell me he is the most boring character in comics. and that the stuff Jeff Johns and other writers have done to him or just the Green Lantern's mythos is silly, and that old stuff is the best, which I kind of disagree because I've been reading the old stuff and it has been Ryan and Stewart as the main Green Lantern, and to me, I don't think that was better, but hey, that's just me. Also, I don't get why people slam Hal Jordan for not being a compelling superhero, but I hear people say John Stewart is. What makes him better than Hal? I'm not saying I disagree with them, but comparing Hal Jordan's stories with John Stewart's stories in comics and on Justice League show, I'm going to go with Hal's stories over him. So I'm sorry it went on a little too long, but I'd like to get your input. The reason why people don't like Hal Jordan and I'm gonna take Kyle Rayner because Kyle Rayner is the biggest contender against Hal Jordan. Uh, Although I'll touch upon John Stewart. The main reason why people like Hal Jordan or dislike Hal Jordan and like Kyle Rayner or dislike Kyle Rayner is really what they were exposed to first. People who love Kyle Rayner because that's the character that they grew up with. You have to understand, from 1985 on, people didn't have Barry Allen. They had Wally West. And people have grown to love Wally West because they were never really exposed to Barry Allen. And the same could be said for Kyle Rayner. Kyle Rayner ruled the 90s when it came down to comics. Um, Hal Jordan, I think, was killed off in 1994 and brought back in 2004. So there was 10 years, practically a generation of comic book readers that were exposed only to Kyle Rayner. So, it's what they were exposed to first. Do I think Hal Jordan's a better character than John Stewart or Kyle Rayner or Guy Gardner? No, I think they're all kind of equal when it comes down to personality because they all bring something different for the table. If you look at them, I'll go through all of them real quickly. Um, to me, this is what I see. Hal Jordan's compelling to me because he's everything that I'm not. He's reckless. He's a cowboy. He kind of goes out there and does without thinking. He's very emotional and he's very outspoken, which I think is great qualities for Kyle. And he's for Hal, and he's kind of that release for me. He's like a guilty pleasure. John is very militaristic. He's very straight to the point. He's very straight edge, which I think a lot of people like. Kyle Rayner is very younger, he's youthful. He has more of a creative side. He's kind of like a mix between Hal and John, which I think a lot of people appeal to. And Guy Gardner is just, well, he's Guy Gardner. He's reckless and fun more so than Hal Jordan, and a bit more comical. So I don't think any of them are more popular or better than others, other than the fact that I would have to say Hal Jordan is the best of the bunch, mainly because Hal Jordan is the one that stands out more than the rest. Uh, Anything we can get with Kyle Rayner or John Stewart or Guy Gardner, we can kind of get with other comic book characters. Hal Jordan's kind of character is harder to get in the DCU than others. But going back to your original comment, people are going to dislike Hal Jordan because they didn't read Hal Jordan. They weren't exposed to Hal Jordan. They didn't grow up with Hal Jordan. They're going to dislike him and they're going to favor John Stewart and Kyle Rayner because that's what they were exposed to. Most people didn't read comics. Most people watched the Justice League cartoon. And who was the Green Lantern there? John Stewart. I'm not hating on John Stewart or Kyle Rayner. I like them both. But the same thing goes for me. I grew up with Hal Jordan. I read comics and in 1994 he died. But he came back. So I've had a lot of exposure to Hal Jordan. I read all the older Green Lantern stuff from the Silver Age. So Hal Jordan is my man. So I guess is really what you get exposed to. Oh, good. It does enlarge that. I hope that answered your question. People that say that they hate Hal Jordan just really haven't given him much of a chance. They're too fixed on what they're used to. People do not like change, and when change happens, they get upset about it. Change may not necessarily be bad, they just get upset about it. What do you want to see from a Swamp Thing Animal crossover? It to be awesome, and that's what I think it will be. I have no expectations other than the fact that it's going to be written well. Do you think Red Hood and Batman will talk again peacefully? Yeah, but there'll always be that tension, and you need that tension to have the relationship be good. I'm sure they'll be on okay terms, kind of. But Jason's still going to be doing what Jason does, which involves killing people, and Batman's not going to be good with that, which is fine because I love Jason Todd and I like that they make him what he is. What characters and story themes would you like to see tackled in Action Comics in Superman post issue 12? I would like to see how the death of Superman was handled in the New 52. I think that would be interesting. Bizarro, I would like to see show up. I said that before. I think Bizarro should show up, and I think they should expand more on Luthor as a billion-dollar, multi-billion corporate bad guy, or as an evil mad scientist, whatever they're going for. Oh God, this contact is killing me. But that's kind of what I would like to see. Fill in the gaps. Is there a particular reason why you favor DC over Marvel or dislike Marvel? I don't dislike Marvel. I said this before, and I'll say this again. I'll make this quick. DC and Marvel are just two different companies. DC has comic book characters that you look up to and you aspire to be, while Marvel has characters that you can relate to. DC embraces its comic book aspect, while Marvel doesn't, and they do more realistic stories. There's some stories that are geared toward people that want that realism, that relatability, they go to Marvel. For people that want to look up to their heroes, embrace the comic book aspect, they go to DC. That's basically the thing. DC has what I want, Marvel doesn't. Plus, DC characters I find to be look cooler and to be more interesting. And a lot of my favorite comic book characters are on DC. So that I don't hate Marvel. It's just yeah. I got 3 questions. What's your favorite video game of all time? Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. What's your favorite board game of all time? Can we count Dungeons and Dragons? Because that's kind of a board game. If so, then Dungeons and Dragons. If we're not counting Dungeons and Dragons and we're talking about like stuff like Monopoly or Yahtzee or Life, I would have to go with Monopoly, although the game never ends. Yeah. Favorite card game of all time? Two. Apples to Apples and Magic the Gathering. Yeah. Um, if you could add 3 Marvel comics to your pull list, what would they be and why? X-Men, because I like a ton of the X-Men, and I think it's a big enough book that I think I should read it. Thor, because I like Norse gods mythology, and with Wonder Woman doing Greek mythology, I'll get Norse gods with Thor, and I like Thor as a character. Unlike a lot of people, I like the mystical aspect of comic books. And lastly, Captain America, because he's my favorite Marvel character, pound for pound. And he's a badass. He's Captain America. Okay. This contact is going to be coming out soon if it continues to give me this problem. If you were to reintroduce Wally, Donna, or Raven to the New 52, how would you do it? Would you put them on a team or give them their own title? See, I've given a lot of thought on how I would bring Donna back to the DC New 52 because Donna is one of my all-time favorite superheroes. Uh, the way I would do Donna Troy is I would do a comic set 5 years ago. Dick Grayson is still Robin, and he meets up with Donna Troy in high school, whatever, and they befriend each other. And Donna Troy is she's an orphan. She goes through the system a lot. She doesn't really know who her parents are, and her powers start to take form and start to take fruition. And Dick helps her on the path. So the first 5 to 6 issues will be her discovering herself and Dick helping her out. The reason why I'm using Dick Grayson is because, well, Dick is Donna's best friend. Uh, so I would do that, and then at the end of the 6th issue, Donna would go through a lot of different mentors, but eventually find herself at Wonder Woman. And I would have to do a lot of emotional stuff. It would be a good comic. Wally, I don't know how I would do Wally. How about Wall? See, I don't know if Wally. They're making it off like there was never a Kid Flash beforehand. Um, I would do one of two things, and some people would disagree with me on these. Number one is, I think the safest one is have Wally West be introduced under a new name, maybe something like Velocity or whatever. And he was the first Kid Flash, and now he's that. Was never the Flash beforehand. A lot of people won't like that, but I think it works well. You don't want to confuse new readers having all these different Flashes. Or two, Wally West never existed in the new DC 52, but rather he is from an alternate DC universe, maybe even from Earth 2, although that may not work as well as something like Earth, whatever. And he was a Flash from that Earth, and he's trapped on this world. Hmm. So I would do that. Raven, they said that they have big plans for Raven. Um, Natural thing would be do Teen Titans, but I don't want to do another Raven turns evil kind of thing. So, if I wanted to be daring, can I be daring? Am I allowed to be daring? Zapdos, Charizard, can I be daring? Charizard! Zapdos! They said I can. I would have a story arc with Pandora, that girl that we keep on seeing in the new 52 with the red hood and the guns. I would have Pandora show up and Raven be the opposition to Pandora. That Pandora is doing something that she shouldn't, and Raven's the one there to stop her. And Raven kind of helps the DCU out. Okay, so that's what I would do for them. We're getting there, people. I know we're 40 minutes in, but I said I would answer every question. Here's my question. What inspires you to be such a big comic book fan? Uh, it's kind of a weird question, I guess you could say, because I like reading comic books. But I think it also because comic books allow me to go to a unique world consistently without an ending. Books end. TV shows end. Video games, you complete them. Maybe there's sequels or spin-offs or new book series, or maybe a sequel to a movie or something. But eventually, all those mediums end. My favorite TV shows, there's no new episodes. My favorite books, they're not making any new books. My favorite games, they make a new game, but it's every 3 or 4 years. I won't see another Zelda game for maybe another 2 to 3 years. But comic books are always there. Every week, I get a day. I get a nice injection. Of comic books. So I think that's what makes me a big comic book fan. It's something that's consistent. It's like I'm a huge wrestling fan because it's constantly thrown in my face every Monday. Which this Monday should be interesting because John Cena actually beat Brock Lesnar. How? But yeah. What is your favorite movie of all time? Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. What is the worst Batman story you've ever read? People will disagree with me on this, but I think it's City. Yes, I hated City of Crime. Hush Returns is a close second, but City of Crime I disliked. Some people said that there's something rewarding about it. I don't. I disliked it. Uh, Crusty stuff in your eyes. Like I said, I kind of just woke up. It's 10:33. I woke up at 9 o'clock. Um, Is it true that the Trinity War event from the New 52 is going to end the reboot? No, the reboot's not ending. This is how the DC Comics is. DC's making a lot of money off it. The reboot's not ending. And is Detective Comic and Dark Knights of the New 52 canon to the Batman timeline? Yes, of course they are. The way I figured the Batman, how you should read the comics is Detective is the earliest, and not like 5 years early. I'm saying like a couple months before the other ones. Then Dark Knight, no, Detective, then Batman, Robin, then Dark Knight, and the more recent stories is Batman because you can't really have all the Court of Owls stuff going on the way they are. Hmm. What is your least favorite of the New 52? Of the comics that I've read, and it can only be of the comics that I've read. I hate to say this. I really do. But Hawkman. I had such high hopes for Hawkman, and it's just been hurting me each time. No, yeah, Hawkman. What's your favorite bat suit? It used to be the gray and black with the pouch that he had from like 2000 onwards, but I really do dig the new 52 one. I think the new 52 one is the best one we've had so far, so I'm going to go with that. Um, Forgot to ask this question. Uh, Have you read the Lucifer series by Vertigo or any other Vertigo titles? No, I haven't. I'm sorry. One. Oh, it's from the same person. Did you know that pro wrestling is actually a martial art called catch wrestling? A few mixed martial arts fighters are catch wrestlers. I wouldn't call pro wrestling. I don't know about that. I would have to look that up. Pro wrestling is kind of fake though. But hey, it's based off realism ish. Not really. Um, Assuming you've completed college already, which I have, what field of employment are you in and why did you choose that field? Currently, I am in the part time unemployed field. Let me make something clear. I have been searching like crazy. I've been going to job interviews like crazy. The job market blows. Know when they said that the economy sucks? They weren't kidding. Stay safe. Stay in college, you out there. Stay in school. It's scary as all hell. Like today, I'm going to have to go and do some job searching. It's depressing to do, and there's no good jobs out there. What field did I choose that I want to be in? Business, some sort of business. Particularly management, although I know I'm not going to start off in management, but I want business. Plain, flat, and simple. Are you at all interested in Avatar, the last Airbender cartoon? I never watched it. If so, what are your thoughts on the Legend of? Yeah, I never watched it. I'm sorry. That was after my time when it came down to cartoons. Uh, if not Spider-Man, Daredevil. Random. If not Spider-Man, Daredevil. In my opinion, he's kind of similar to Batman, and plus, his comic is very good. Are you saying if I which do I like, Spider-Man or Daredevil? I don't know if that's it. I would choose Daredevil because I just don't like Spider-Man. Is that what you were asking? I know this must sound absolutely absurd, lol. But I was just wondering if you were to read and review one Amazing Spider-Man comic. I know you hate Spider-Man with a furry passion of 1,000 suns. Wow, 1,000! I was only gonna go with 500, uh, but I just want to see your reaction to a Spider-Man comic, especially since people are saying the new arc is pretty good. Um, I have no intentions of reviewing Spider-Man because, again, I don't know if I say I hate Spider-Man, but he's my least favorite hero. He just has nothing appealing to me. Other than, there's two things that appeal to me about Spider-Man. Only two things. One is that in the actual Marvel Universe, Spider-Man's just like, he's a dude that helps people in New York. He's not like Superman, the defender of Earth. He's just a dude. Two is he has a good rogue gallery. Other than that, there's nothing that appeals to me to Spider-Man. I'm sure there's amazing stories out there, but yeah. Uh, when are you doing a next Batman collection video? I don't have any planned in the foreseeable future just because I haven't been picking up any trades lately. Plus, to map out the new 52 when it comes down to Batman trades will be a headache and a half. What's your favorite Batman movie? Batman Begins. Um, Good motion, good storytelling, good feel to it. I like Batman Begins. Um, have you been watching the Young Justice cartoon? If so, what do you think of it and why not? I already kind of answered this, didn't I? I like the Young Justice. I haven't really been watching it because I haven't had time. What is with the exception of the current writers, who would you like to see write Nightwing, Teen Titans, and Red Hood and the Outlaws? Nightwing? That's tough. Give me a moment. Don't want to take, we're going almost on an hour. Wow. Um, Paul Diddy on Nightwing. I would be interested to see how he takes Nightwing and works him. Teen Titans, put Jeff Johns back on it. Red and the Outlaws, I would like to see Judd Winick do it. Do you plan to pick up the new DC Universe All Star line of 6-inch figures? Um, I know that they're doing some of the new 52 costumes. My main focus when it comes down to figures are going to be the DC Direct or DC Select or whatever they call them now of the new 52 Justice League stuff. I'm going to focus on those more than anything. I might pick up some of the new DC Universe All Star stuff, but we'll see. What Vertigo titles do you recommend? I don't read Vertigo, so I can't really recommend them. Do you like Lobo, and what do you think the new Harley Quinn DLC for Batman Arkham City? I have not got the new Harley Quinn DLC, so I can't really talk about that. As for Lobo, I love Lobo. I think they should use Lobo more often. Why doesn't Lobo have his own comic? Um, do you think DC will do a sequel to Flashpoint? It says that there will be a cost. No, I think they'll follow up on some of the stuff that's been done to Flashpoint. I don't think they'll do a sequel. A lot of people wanted a Flashpoint universe comic, which I think would be kind of cool, but I don't think they'll do it. Do you think that a little wily Dick should be Batman again? Or what would happen without Bruce dying for this to happen? Who should join the Justice League next in the DCU? Okay. Do I think Dick should be Batman again? No. I know it's Dick's ultimate destiny when Bruce dies that he becomes Batman, but no, keep him Nightwing. That's where he belongs. Um, a lot of great stuff with Dick Grayson as Batman, but I like him better as Nightwing. Who do I think should join the Justice League next in DCU? I like the Justice League at 7. I think Justice League gets too much when there's too many members. But if I had to pick, I mean, obvious choice would be Green Arrow, but I kind of want to see Hawkman. What are your top 10 favorite Pokemon besides Charizard and Zapdos? You looked. Uh, Tough question because there are tons of Pokemon I love. Charizard's number 1, Mew's number 2, Zapdos is number 3. Pidgeot's probably number 4. Lapras, number 5. I'm just thinking. Metagross, number 6. Or Metagross within the top 10. Um, I do like Swampert. I think Swampert's pretty cute. Um, but yeah, was that 7, 8? Swampert, 9. I like Scrafty from Black and White, the new gen. I think he's cool, and Haxorus is cool too. So that 8 and 9. Number 10. I am partial to. You know what? Number 10 is Arbok. I like Arbok. I know he's not the best, but I love him. No, remove Arbok. No, keep Arbok. Remove. Oh, I forgot about Golbat. I love Golbat. I'm gonna cheat. I'm throwing Golbat in there. Golbat and uh, Golbat's in there. I love Golbat. So there you go. Favorite. Let's see. That. Oh, I skipped a question, but okay. Uh, Worst superhero movie ever. Batman Robin. Characters who doesn't need a movie. Who doesn't need to have a movie? I don't think we really. That's tough because there's no downside to. There's no benefit for anyone not having a movie. Aquaman. I don't think the movie would fly. I love Aquaman to death, but I don't think it's necessary. What would you like to see done with a Flash movie trilogy? I hate origin stories, but they're probably gonna have to do one. Or the origin story should be a flashback. First arc, Captain Cold. Second arc, I would love to see Gorilla Grodd. Uh, Third movie, tie all the rogues together. Have some of the other rogues trickle in, like Mirror Master and Weather Wizard trickle in and throughout some of the movies. What are your top? I already did that. Favorite Pokemon game? Pokemon Fire Red. Do you have any ideas on the Pandora from DC Universe? Uh, DC Universe ever since the New 52. I have been stumped and I've heard that there's going to be a war event starting us involving her, and on Free Comic Book Day is coming out explaining more about her. I kind of gave what I thought. I think some of the Flashpoint stuff may trickle in with Pandora. I really don't know. I'm kind of stumped also. They can do a lot of stuff. Like I said, I think a Raven Pandora thing would be interesting, personally, um, because uh, I don't know. I just like Raven, and why not? They said they were going to do something big for Raven. Why not do it with Pandora? Don't mind me. I'm just pulling up the last bits of questions from my Andrew Cutter pick of the week. Okay. Uh, but yeah, I don't know really. Okay, so we're at 55 minutes. I'm going to pause it right here because my computer can only do an hour at a time. So that was quick and easy, wasn't it? Okay, so let's get on to this real quickly. Now, why the hell are comic book fanboys insulted against women wearing revealing clothing in comics? I can understand if writing is crappy and they rely on boobs to sell a comic, but even with a good comic book, I consistently hear from guys, well, this is or that girl's clothing were slutty. I don't like it. For example, Suicide Squad, so many complaints on with Harley's outfit. Some people don't want to get voodoo because she was a stripper. And when do guys not like stripper? Okay, first of all, when it comes down to voodoo, I think it is silly that they don't want to pick it up because she was a stripper, but she was only a stripper for the first issue, and that's not even voodoo. That's her clone. Just revealed something. Um, as for when it comes down to comic book characters and female characters, when it comes down to them dressing a certain way, I think it really comes down to the character. A character can have sexy clothes or considered sexy clothes and still have it be classy. Example, uh, Wonder Woman. Her costume is revealing, but it is no way at all slutty. Uh, Sometimes it can be drawn that way, but no way it is slutty. Power Girl. A lot of people, why is this here? The missing part in her costume. Power Girl has a very classy costume, and the reason why she has the center is because she says she's a strong, confident woman, and she feels like she wants to express herself that way. She's not trying to be slutty. Some comic book artists decide that's an entry point to making big, huge boobs. But no. Black Canary, same way. I think it's how it's handled. When you have someone wearing a thong and their boobs are literally falling out, that's a different problem. See, my problem with the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn is that the costume is slutty. It's there to tantalize. Um, why couldn't she have the Arkham City costume? It's still sexy, but without being slutty. I mean, literally, if you look at the first issue, her boobs are literally popping out. But I think the reason why is just because the costume has to be classy without being slutty. Okay, have you ever played The World's Ends with You for DS? No, I haven't. If you have, what do you think of it? If you haven't, you need to. It's the best game that I played on the DS. That's a pretty bold statement. Um, I'll look into it. How will the question be coming back to the new DCU? I don't know. I don't know if Renee Montoya is still the question or if they're going to bring back the old question. So I'm not sure. Probably in some Batman title. They'll base him in Gotham or her. Here's my question for you. What do you think of this question? I'm kidding. Ha ha ha. What's a dream talent that you wish you had? Also, what's your favorite DC Universe classic? A dream talent that I wish I had. I wish I could be a better artist, but a dream talent. You know, sing. I can't sing. I am a horrible singer. I really am. It's atrocious. I sing a lot. I have my iPad on and work, and I'll be singing Prince Ali, Fabulous, and I'll be doing that. I'm a horrible singer. And the funny thing is growing up, all the girls went oohs and ahs and wild for band people that had guitars and singing. I never could do that. So I guess sing and play the guitar. Oh no, not play the guitar, play the harp because the harp is my favorite instrument. So that would be my dream talent because I just can't sing. And yeah, and I would love to impress my fiance and serenade her. Also, what would you say is your favorite DC Universe classic, the Aquaman figure? Whoa, went a little too far. My question is that if you were given control of DC, if you were given control and DC wanted you to give us a Superman of today, what would you do? How would you go about making Superman popular and contemporary? What would you change? What would you keep? What do you think most people do wrong with Superman, the Man of Steel? And what's their pet peeves when it comes down to stories of the Big Blue? See, I think there's two things about Superman that people do wrong. One is I feel as though people think Superman's uncool. Superman's not uncool. The basic concept of Superman is great. You can tell Superman at his very core basic elements, like Jim Byrne did, or how he was done in the Silver Age, or how Jeff Johns kind of did him very much Boy Scout, very Christopher Reeve Superman-esque, and still have it be good. A lot of people feel, well, we need to make Superman edgy. We need to make Superman more down to earth to the people, or we need it. No, Superman is Superman. He's Superman. He's a symbol. He is a concept that is beautifully well handled. So I would embrace that. I would embrace what makes Superman Superman, which is he is a Boy Scout. He always does what's right. He always has an unwavering commitment to doing good. No way around it. So that's I think one problem people have. Uh, what was my second reason? I just lost it. So I think that's one problem that people have is that they need to make Superman relevant. You don't need to make Superman relevant. Superman is great the way he is. In saying that, I would take basically the Christopher Reeve Superman and write that Superman going up against the likes of Darkseid, Doomsday, Bizarro. I would have him fight some classic villains, but I would also introduce new ones. I would introduce some hardcore new villains to Superman that would give him a challenge. Because there's two kinds of Superman stories you tell. You tell calmer, more contemplative Superman stories about moral decisions and about Superman and his relationships, or you tell big epic fights between Superman. I think that needs to be done. I think another thing is a lot of people don't want to use the classic stuff with Superman. They're too busy trying to make new stuff. What's wrong with using Bizarro? What's wrong with using Brainiac? What's wrong with using, the Parasite? Um, I think that's the biggest problem with Superman is a lot of people try to change him. You do not need to change him. He's not broken. I remember with the other thing. A lot of people can't find the perfect tone for Superman. Superman is by and by a Boy Scout, and sometimes if you write him too much of a Boy Scout, he comes off as too preachy, and you can't do that. It's a tough thing with Superman. What would I change? That Brainiac's not a centipede. Um, I would change that Superman's power really is not finite, that he is on Earth an incredible power, but the more sun he soaks up, he becomes like Earth 2 Superman unstoppable. I would really define his powers as being non-defined. Um, keep the costume. And I would probably tinker. I would like to see Lois and Superman together again, especially seeing Superman is going to be single on Earth too. This comic was so. Uh, I hope that kind of answered your question. That was kind of a tough question to answer. Okay. This question was already asked. I agree with your three of your top five. Mine are Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Swamp Thing, and Batman and Robin. Considering I love, I don't think that's a question. Where would you live if you had $1 billion? The good old state of Massachusetts. My fiance would say differently. She doesn't want to live here. She wants to move. But if not Mass, I love to live in Ireland. Ireland was. I'm going to tell you something. I went on a lot of trips. I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Rome, Italy. Been to Canada. I've been all around. Uh, no place is more beautiful than Ireland. Took my breath away. It was amazing. I would love to go back there again. I'm gonna try to. So yeah, I would live in Ireland. Who would you like to see as a surprise guest star in future Batman issues? If it really surprised me, Azrael. Andrew, I found out Reserve comics ahead of time at my comic store. Oh, I kind of already answered this to you. The person reserves comics ahead of time, but you have to pay beforehand. And to get a special order in, if not available, you must come in person, not over the phone. It seems inconvenient to the customer. Is this normal practice for a comic book shop? Just to reiterate my comment or answer to it, my comic shop doesn't do that. I do everything on Comixology or Comixology, and it is sent to them. They do not pay. I do not have to pay up front. I pay when I get there, and if anything, I get a discount when I pay there. If there is a special order, I can talk to them on the phone. I can talk to them in face to face. Your comic store just sucks. Not to be mean, your comic store just sucks. That is dick ass maneuvers to do as a comic store. Like I said, I don't have to pay anything up front at all. I pay when the item comes to me, even if it's a specialty order. Two, if anything, I get a discount because I am a regular customer. So there. Andrew, where that's this one was already asked. Damn you, I loved apples to apples. Oh, okay. Um, and I think that's it. I think we made it to the end. Really, let me just. Do you watch the AMC show Comic Book Men? No, I don't, and I want to give it a chance too. It's just I don't know when it's on. So yeah, we made it. Oh, 50 plus questions. Yes! 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 Well, good. If your question was not answered or if it wasn't answered to what you would like, you can comment again. Next time we do a question and answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoy the question and answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope I was insightful or if I was gave you the answers you want. Which is really what's important to me is the fact that I have serviced you. That comes off as oddly sexual and weird. I have long ass eyebrows. But like I said, I hope I helped you guys out. I hope this was enjoyable for you guys. And yeah, gonna end this video here. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.